In this video, I'm going to talk about the new album by the band Halestorm called Back from the Dead. The album was released on May 6th, 2022. I will be talking about the band, the songs, I'll give my final thoughts, and I'll give a score out of 10. Halestorm is a band from Pennsylvania. They were started by brother and sister Lizzie Hale and RJ Hale. Sound can be described as hard rock or heavy metal, and it's a band that almost always, they're always on the road. They have played with many big name artists. The name of the album, Back from the Dead, may seem strange considering that their previous album was only like 4 years ago, but the meaning behind the title is that the band went through a difficult time not being able to tour during the pandemic. They actually started to write songs for the album before the pandemic as well, but then everything came to a halt. Many of the songs in the album deal with mental health and personal issues. To be honest, I've never really listened to this band that much before this album. I found some of the lyrics very well written, some to be very over the top. The overall tone of the album is very angry, and I will talk about that as I go through the songs. The album has 11 songs. The songs average about 3.5 minutes in length, so the album actually goes by pretty quickly. So, first song, Back from the Dead, is very anthemic, fist-pumping lyrics, about coming back from depression or other situations holding you down. The song has a heavy, almost grungy sound with lots of energy. The vocals range from those harsh to melodic. It's catchy. Not a bad song to open the album. Wicked Ways, that's another one with anthemic energy. The guitar riffs reminded me of new metal or alternative metal. The song has a nice pace with a mix of heavy and melodic vocals. The song also has some softer and heavier parts as well. The Strange Girl has some cool opening riffs. The lyrics are about someone who wants to be themselves and not worry about what others say. The song is uplifting. It's also a catchy hard rock song. I thought this one was okay as well. Brightside is another song with uplifting lyrics about looking to the bright side of life. Again, the lyrics are very uplifting, even if they are kind of simple. The vocals are good. They can be melodic and aggressive at times. The guitars are heavy and they do have a lot of attitude. The Steeple is probably one of the better songs on the album. It has some really cool riffs and nice flow to it. This was one of the singles that was released prior to the album release, and there's also an acoustic version of the song. So this is one of the songs where I like the lyrics and the chorus very well. It's very catchy, it's very memorable, and probably my favorite on the album. Terrible Things, it's an acoustic ballad, and it's perfectly placed. It's right in the middle of the album. Really like the lyrics to the song. The song deals with all the horrible things happening in the world and how we must cope with it, all that going on. You can probably also interpret the lyrics as dealing with depression. The song has some orchestration, and Lizzie Hale shows off the softer side of her voice. My Redemption, this is a cool song. It has a very 2000s metal sound with cool guitar riffs and attitude. The lyrics are very well written. My interpretation of this is overcoming a difficult situation or depression. The song is decent, not one of my favorites, but it's a good album track. Bombshell, this song has a very futuristic type of vibe with the big and heavy riffs and a thick bass sound in the verse section. The lyrics are very angry and they convey the message that, hey, look at me, this is who I am, I'm strong, independent. Another song, it's okay, not one of the most memorable, but not too bad. I Come First. Now, at this point, the album starts to go downhill for me. Now, the lyrics are kind of tongue-in-cheek with the obvious double meaning, but the lyrics seem very narcissistic to me, even if the intention was about being strong and independent. But my interpretation was someone who only cares about themselves in a relationship and the other person doesn't matter. I may be wrong, but that's my interpretation, but that's just how I felt listening to the song, and for that reason I don't like it. And I don't like this next song, Psycho Crazy. It just bothered me a lot. The lyrics sound like they were written by Amber Heard. Some of the lines, if you want crazy, I'll give you psycho. Now you're making me mad. This is going to get bad. But don't forget you started this shit. If you're a single guy and you're dating a girl who says these things, you need to run away fast. This is a definite red flag. But on a positive note, the music was good. It's just that the lyrics kind of ruined it for me. And the last song's actually really good. Raise Your Horns. It's a ballad. It's piano based and a really good song. I think it's, I like this band actually better for the ballads than the heavy songs actually. I like the lyrics. It sounds like the type of song that the band Manowar would write. I like that. This was kind of made up for those two bad songs that preceded it. So In conclusion, it's a decent album. You know, it was kind of ruined by those two songs towards the end, but I enjoyed the ballads the best, and that's kind of rare for me because, you know, usually for a rock and metal album, I usually like the heavier stuff, but I like the ballads. I like Steeple, Brightside, Back from the Dead, Terrible Things, Raise Your Horns. Those are my favorites. The other tracks were okay. If you're a fan of this band, you'll probably like this album. It has a lot of like that angry energy, and the songs are well written for the most part. They could have done like more, you know, in having memorable guitar riffs, but I liked how the album was fairly short. It's not like short enough to be an EP, but a good album length. You get 11 songs under 40 minutes, so that's a good thing. Overall, this was okay for me. I probably won't go back to it that often, but who knows. You know, it was cool to check out a band I never listened to. My score is a 7 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Up next, Fozzy, Boombox, Motor Sister, Get Off. And I'll do those in the next 2 days. And please remember, like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one.